Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. A big thank you to Sodesco for sponsoring this video. We're looking at the second week of October, that's the dates of the 8th up until the 14th, to see if there's anything coming out that's worth your time. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. We'll begin by looking at a game from the sponsor of today's video, Sodesco, and their recent release on the Switch, Airoheart. This top-down adventure game is, in the words of the developers, an ode to the storytelling of the Final Fantasy series whilst adapting the style of the early Legend of Zelda games. This comes through prevalently in the pixel art style, and the music really does evoke the 1990s Super Nintendo era. You play as Airoheart on a quest to prevent your brother from reigniting an age-old feud between the two races on the continent of Engard. To do this, you'll need to explore the large open world and find the fragmented pieces of an old relic by locating and fighting your way through the various dungeons full of enemies, puzzles, traps and bosses. Aside from this, the world is full of characters to meet, side quests to partake in, and treasures to find. You will acquire new weapons as you play, and there are also a number of key items that will grant you passive abilities, plus you'll be searching for a number of runes which will enable you to use different spells. These could be elemental offensive spells or ones that allow you to heal yourself, for example. Airoheart costs £34.99 and regional equivalents have been on your screen. There is also a physical version available for those Switch physical collectors out there. There will be links in the description and the top pinned comment if you would like to pick this one up. Let's move on to the games coming out this week, and the first is called In Sound Mind. This is a horror game from the creators of Nightmare House 2 and finds you waking up in the corridors of an unknown building where the environment takes on a life of its own. You'll need to traverse a number of unsettling memories, solving puzzles and taking on bosses in what the blurb calls an imaginative and disorienting narrative. Halloween of course is just a few weeks away, so a new horror game is certainly welcomed, and this looks to have a pretty decent Metacritic score following its release on other consoles last year. It will cost £29.99 and it releases on the 11th.
By playing the tapes, Desmond enters the puzzling psyches of the individuals.
Doc, are you there?
The levels you traverse, along with the puzzles and threats you encounter, resonate with the same themes behind each of their stories.
Then we have the Battle of Polytopia, which is a 4X strategy game about controlling the map, fighting enemy tribes, discovering new land and mastering new technology. It includes 12 tribes with unique nature, culture and experience, 3 game modes being Perfection, Domination and Creative mode, and configurable map types. It uses a low poly art style, as you've no doubt seen by now, and appears to be selling for a reasonable price of £13.99 or your regional equivalent. I believe this has been out on mobile and PC, so perhaps if anyone has played it, they can give us their views in the comments section. It releases on the 12th. Also on the 12th then is LEGO Bricktales, described as having an innovative brick-by-brick building mechanic to design puzzle solutions. The story revolves around looking for inspiration to help reinvigorate your granddad's amusement park, and will see you visiting dioramic worlds based around jungles, deserts and cities. There are a number of construction points where you can test your creative skills, as well as specific puzzles to solve. There is a sandbox mode and collectibles to find. I played a little bit of this at EGX in London last year now it would have been, as we've just been to this year's one, so yeah, it really was that long ago, and I will be reviewing it next week, so we'll see how it holds up. It looks lovely though, I must say, and it will cost £24.99 or your regional equivalent. Next is Unusual Findings, which I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say has taken a large amount of inspiration from Stranger Things. It calls itself a nostalgic adventure about friendship, the 80s and aliens as you explore the town with places such as the video store, the comic book shop and the arcades to find out more about a potential alien attack after you and your friends find a distress signal on a cable channel whilst trying to decrypt the pay-per-view adult channel, a classic 80s pastime there. It's a point and click adventure where your decisions matter, and as well as the obvious modern retro influence of Stranger Things, they also list actual 80s movies such as They Live, The Goonies and Terminator as their influences. It's out on the 12th and it costs £15.99.
But damn, that was legend.
Also this week is Winter Games 2023, which brings together 10 winter sports as you chase records, best times and trophies. The events can be played against the AI or in local multiplayer for up to 4 players, and the 10 disciplines included are biathlon, downhill, super G, skeleton, short track, 2-man bobsled, ski jumping, ski cross, snowboard cross and curling. It's out on the 13th and it will cost you £35.99 or your regional equivalent. Moving on to the 14th then, and we have Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway, the latest iteration of the kart racing game, which brings together a number of characters from a number of Nickelodeon owned franchises, now sees the karts able to transform into bikes and watercrafts when the level calls for it, plus it also now has voice acting, a component that was sorely missing from the previous 2 entries. There are over 40 characters to play as well as 90 crew members to match your playstyle with unique special abilities. There is both local and online play and 36 different tracks to race on. It will cost £39.99, but it does have 10% off up until launch.
Good thing I didn't just eat.
Look at this!
Then we have Star Trek Prodigy Supernova, which is a game based on an animated show set within the Star Trek universe, and I must confess I wasn't even aware of its existence until looking it up a few moments ago. You play as Dal and Gwendala, if I am pronouncing those names right, in an attempt to rescue their scattered crew. You can play in solo or 2-player co-op and will explore the alien worlds of Irishi, Mirios and Taris, or close approximations of those names, and each has their own hostile environments, puzzles, challenges and mysteries. It's certainly not cheap at £44.99, but if you are a fan of the show, it releases on the 14th. Following on from that is NASCAR RIvals, the official video game of the 2022 NASCAR season. It includes the official teams, drivers and regular season and playoff schedule, or you can create your own legacy in career mode. It has online or local multiplayer and you can customise your own driver and paint scheme too. It will cost £44.99 or your regional equivalent. The penultimate game for the week is Kamiwaza Way of the Thief from NIS America. Now the blurb gives very little away, basically just confirming that you play as a thief named Ebizo, and you can choose to put your thieving skills to the test or choose the path of honour, but I believe this is actually a remaster of a PlayStation 2 game from 2006, and as you may have ascertained from the thief moniker in the title, it involves stealth gameplay. I don't think the game ever left Japan first time round, so it's good to see it released to a new audience now, although they have gone pretty high with a price of £35.99. And finally for the week we have Dragon Ball The Breakers, which is an online asymmetrical action game in which 7 ordinary citizens try to survive the Raider, basically one of the classic Dragon Ball characters. Gameplay wise it looks to be like the Friday the 13th game that released a few years back, where you can choose to team up and work together or go solo to try and escape from each of the maps. As well as this, you can of course play as the Raider character and attempt to take down the other players. It will cost £17.99 or your regional equivalent. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Another big thank you to Sodesco for sponsoring this video, as they did last week too, very much appreciated. Please do check out their game Airoheart, there are links in the description and the top pinned comment. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick any of these games up, or any other games for that matter, you can purchase your eShop cards from our website switchup.gg if you are in the EU or US regions, and we have managed to secure another 10% off for this month, so use the code SwitchUp to get your 10% off there. There's also a link down there to Play Asia if you're looking to import any games. Again, use the link, use the code, and you can get yourself 5% off of an order. A quick thank you to our patrons as always for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.